Welcome to the Ridge Raiders podcast show. We're your hosts,
Rebel Lee
and Scott. Tonight we're going to be discussing and reviewing the Dukes of Hazzard episode, Mary Kaye's Baby.
Yep, that was on February 9th, 1979. And I want to tell the viewers we're sorry that Roger Dodger didn't work out with us, but we got, like I say, Scott here, and just going to have a good time tonight because Lord knows this show wasn't the best in the world. Guys, right off the bat, there was no General Lee in it. I'm hating to break the news to you. And Daisy was fully clothed.
Yep, again, I have to agree, not one of their best ones, but nevertheless, they were still early starting out in their series. It was only the third episode.
Trying to find their way like we are. It did start out again with a chase. Police was chasing, what did you say, it was a Fury?
It's a 1975 Plymouth Fury.
Yeah. We learned that that was a loaner from Cooters. And that it was, obviously, it was full of moonshine.
Yep, and that car was also, you might note, the same car they used as, or same type of car they used as a police car later on in the series.
Well, yeah, and as we go into the show, once Bo and Luke get rid of Roscoe off their tail and Enos, they see a woman hitchhiking, and
turns out to be their friend Mary Kaye Porter.
Yep, and she's heavily pregnant.
And she's trying to get to Florida. She wants to get to Florida to have her baby.
And well, Bo and Luke pick her up meaning well, but like everything, when them good old boys try to do something nice for somebody, they always get in trouble.
Yep, and as it has it, Mary Kaye's husband was involved with some gangsters out of Atlanta, and they're looking for her to get their money back, because unbeknownst to Bo and Luke, she's carrying the money.
And again, I'll tell you, like I said, I have problems with this show. It's not one of the better ones, but it's still the Dukes of Hazzard. But my biggest pet peeve with that chick was that she went into that store and opened up some pickles, and she had all this briefcase, and it was in her hand, and she had one contraction and couldn't pay these poor people that was just trying to make a living off of this store.
I believe it was actually pickled eggs instead of a pickle, but well, I may be wrong.
Well, then I guess that makes it even a whole lot more, so she definitely couldn't afford it with that so many thousands of dollars and 34 cents she had.
Yep, but, you know, at the end of the day, like every episode, the bad guys lost, Dukes won. In this particular episode, Mary Kaye had her baby. The car, Luke blew it up with a dynamite arrow and got rid of all the evidence, so there was nothing they could get in trouble for.
Sounds like a fun show, don't it? Well, let's put a little bit more into the middle of it than this, but that was the basic premise of this show. This crappy show. Okay. The one point she bites the hand of Bo, this ungrateful pregnant woman. Let's see here. She lived in Hazzard, won't go see her daddy. This chick's made a lot of mistakes in life, guys. And I'm not one to say that I have been perfect. And at least Bo and Luke can forgive her. But hey, I learned that in a pinch, Uncle Jesse can deliver your baby. And also, gangsters weren't very smart in Atlanta. They should have beat two boys with bow and arrows and them having guns. You know, you never bring a knife to a gun fight. What you think? There was a segment in the forest. Scott, you want to describe this wonderful, wonderful scene in the forest with these guys?
Basically, it was which way do we go, George moment. I mean, you had the two bad guys looking head on at Bo and Luke, and they all looking at each other like they don't know what to do or which way to go. I mean, I don't know what the point of that shot was, but nevertheless, they put it in there for some reason.
And then, hey, let's randomly have Boss Hogg like 2 inches away after that right there happens. like, I don't know what they were thinking or if they melded in too. Luke did some really good acting when he was getting shot at. I liked the way that he moved. Instead of running in a straight line, he was moving, zigzagging, and rolling over. It wasn't totally bad. It had its moments. Did you see anything you particularly liked about it, Scott? Exactly, because it sucked. Okay?
But you know, surprise, surprise, this is actually the only episode
Breaking news.
You'll actually see Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane actually shoot somebody, and he shot him in the toe.
Good call, but the guy held his knee.
Go figure.
And Scott, you brought up an excellent point to me in a chase that they had earlier in that episode. Whenever the bad guys, the whatever they were, you call them thugs or
gangsters,
idiots.
I believe I called them.
I wasn't really sold a gangster for the rest of it for nothing. Anyways.
Because it's Waylon Jennings, the narrator there, balladeer pointed out. I forget where, somewhere you had Al Capone, and in another place you had somebody else. Well, in Atlanta you had this guy
Two
McQueen.
Stooges, that's what you had, yes. I do believe you're right about that.
Larry and Moe.
But there was definitely some not exactly right shots made in this right here show, because Bo was at the driver's side door whenever the gangsters first met them, and then they realized who this bad guys were. So something happened. There was a distraction. Did you say Luke hit the gas or something other? And
yeah, Bo's standing outside arguing with McQuaid, and McQuaid's goon's trying to get Mary Kaye out of the back of the car. Luke slips over and with his foot and hits the gas pedal and jams it in gear, and as the car starts moving, Bo pushes the door into McQuaid, and he jumps in the car. And if you look close, you can actually see Bo jump, like diving over the front seat into the back seat, but it makes you think he's actually going to be driving, but he's not, because the next scene showing it's Luke driving, and he's in the back seat, and you see him climbing over that front seat back into the front seat. So.
But wait, there's more. As they do another clip, where's Bo at?
In the driver's seat driving.
Well,
then it goes back to Luke driving. So.
It sure does. In that last clip,
mistakes happen. You know, we can't.
It is the Bermuda Triangle of Hazzard
happen.
County. Is what this was. It was not about the pregnancy thing at all. It was just some weird Twilight Zone stuff happening. They are better than this, and they are some great shows. This will never be one of them. Scott, how big of fans do you think we are? We're huge. We love the Dukes of Hazzard. I mean,
probably two of the biggest Dukes fans.
We have spent our entire life just collecting the stuff and trying to find out anything that we can. I met Ben Jones multiple times. The very nicest guy you'll ever meet. We've met all the cast that are alive, haven't we?
Yep.
And we even got James Best at one time.
Yep, was fortunate, and had the privilege of seeing James Best before he passed. Basically, the only two that we, never got the opportunity or the good fortune of meeting was Sorrel Brook, Boss Hogg, and Denver Pile, Uncle Jesse.
Yep. And every one of them was as nice as they could be. They were down-to-earth people. And we love this show. So don't get me wrong when I'm telling you this show sucked, okay? This episode, not the show.
Yeah,
this
get that right. The episode, not
this
the show.
Episode made you want to go to sleep before it was halfway over. And Mary Lou, is that her name?
Mary Kaye.
Mary Kaye. Oh, see how much I care about that chick. Let me tell you. I'm being kind to that character because she was a witch with a capital B, if you know what I mean.
And actually, I think this is the only episode in the entire Dukes of Hazzard series that never had the General Lee in it. Not once. It never explained where it was at or what happened to it.
I will say that even the car took a day off in this show. There's only 2 characters that I'm pretty sure was it from day one all the way through, and that was Denver Powell and Sorrel Brook.
Well, I think you could sum it up best, the way you said it. This episode, they must have put the general in the garage and covered up Daisy.
Exactly. Now that'll get you some ratings, guys. It had its moments, but it was very few and far between. The whatever that was with Boss Hogg and Billy Jack or whatever his stupid name was on the bridge, he was not even necessary. We get it.
I guess they's going for that old time meet at high noon west type thing. I mean, only thing they left out was that music,
Yeah, they had their own version, I think. Something like that.
But then they didn't even, really do anything. They just talked to each other and turned and walked away. I mean, I have to agree. That really wasn't necessary, needed in there. But
like I said,
hey, we wasn't the producer. We wasn't making the show.
Worst gangsters, mafia that there ever was. Now, it's hard because we just came off of a really, really good show, Daisy Song. There was so much to that. You got to know Daisy's character and her passion, and you didn't really know nothing about these characters here. It was all focused on one selfish woman that was pregnant. We get it. We do. Pregnancy sucks sometimes. But this chick could have made better life choices. That's all I'm saying. She really could have. And I'm glad she never showed back up. Oh, and apparently there was another store, gas station, besides the Boar's Nest in all of Hazzard County. We did not know that until today.
I think that's the first and only time I've ever seen it was in that episode.
Yep, because that guy never showed back up either. Yep. Mr. Little John Stud. What else? Am I missing anything? The one great thing is, I'm a redneck. So, I kind of like the dynamite blowing up things. That was in the show. Thank goodness for that, because Lord knows that was the only really cool thing about this show.
You know what the really best part of this show was?
The end?
The end.
Yeah, right.
This week for episode 4 of The Repo Man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hey everyone. Calendar events coming up here in the next few weeks and months. You got Hazard Run on in Cooters and Luray on October the 1st through the 3rd. Tom Wolfett will be there. On Saturday and Sunday. Saturday 11 a.m. to 4, he'll be signing autographs. Sunday will be 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and he'll also be singing. October the 8th and 9th is Hazard Fest in Greenville, Tennessee. Admission is $25 day or $45 for both days. It's on a Friday and a Saturday. Unfortunately, Sonny Schroeder will not be able to make it. He has to be taken off the list for health reasons. Keep him in our prayers. Also, every Saturday, remember the Boar's Nest Museum. Visit their Facebook for times. The museum admission is $5. Usually open on Saturdays, but can be contacted for other days. Also, want to let you know that today, sadly, the last 69 Charger was jumped by an Ohio stuntman and is being retired to North Carolina. From now on, they'll be using the Ford Victoria. Thank you.
Now we're going to recite the Ridge Raiders pledge.
And this time, boys, get it right. The Ridge Raiders do solemnly swear to uphold what's fair and square, and to whoop upon anybody what tries to stop us, all for one and one for all.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and click that little bell down below so you don't miss another episode. And we'll see you next time.